We're doing this very early today.
Sometimes I don't think we need to tell them that.
You know,
I think we should just.
I'm still waking up, so I think my filter is a little, less.
We need to fix that. We don't need to let them know that.
Well, whatever. It's fine.
Sure.
It's fine. Anyway. Hello, and welcome to The Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan Murphy, say something gay. Gay, I am currently drinking some energetic strawberry lemonade concoction brew that I made this morning because I'm tired. And my day technically doesn't end today until 3 a.m. So that's going to be fun.
Now, why everybody always has to play the I'm so tired card. Because, you know what our listeners don't care about? How tired we are. They only care about us giving the information. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give the information and not tell you how tired I am. Because I'm not. I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm Lana, your resident evil diva, who's not tired, here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I loves me some tea. Purr.
And she's not tired.
But I'm not tired. And I currently am just drinking water because hydration is important, and I'm not tired. And if I was drinking anything else, I'll probably be drinking it out of my cup mug.
Not tired cup mug.
I'm not tired cup mug because it's very much alive and well and peppy and ready to go. Panel full of cup mugs. Panel full of cup mugs. Beer, 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 beer. That is the Not Tired remix. And you can get your cup mug or any of our cup merch at LanaG'sCreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And if you haven't checked out our Etsy shop in a little while, you should, because we have new items and we'll be adding new items coming in very soon. So check that out. We do ship domestically here in the US, Mexico, and Canada. And we do ship internationally. So there are no excuses. Period.
Well, today on this not tired edition of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 9, we've got, oh boy, an episode to talk about, Lana. This episode was fun. This episode was the drama. We were worried with this non-elimination charity season that we wouldn't be seeing some drama pop up. And guess what?
It's still drama.
The drama is here. I'm so excited to talk about it. It's not even that much drama, but I'm still very excited to talk about it.
I think it's fun drama for me. It's not like, God.
It seems very, very fun drama. So I'm excited to dive into it. Before we do that, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things drag. And make sure to check out the description below for all of our YouTube channels, our audio podcast links, and our membership channel links with exclusive content and early access. Boom, 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 boom. So we come back in. Roxy and Vanjie have just gone from 0 badges each to 2 badges each in the span of one episode. And Angie has been blocked for the second time. And she comes in really in her feelings. And I felt so bad for her here.
Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, I mean, I get it. And I understand what Roxy was like in 949. It was just I was just getting you back, getting my lick back, which is fine if somebody else didn't already cut her again. Like, I would have been like, I would have felt that as I guess just a justification for you blocking me. I would have like, you
100%.
Again. I would have done that, but she was like, no. I personally needed to get my lick back, and so. Whatever. What I liked was that they was like, okay, Angie was very much honest about how she was feeling. She was like, I'm very much in my feelings about this. I feel like this was kind of personal. And Roxy was like, it was just eye for an eye. You know, you got me, I got you.
And this wasn't just my decision.
That's what I didn't
episode,
like.
really.
That's what I didn't like.
I didn't like it either. She kept saying, well, this was a joint decision. And Vanjie even straight up says, like, I didn't really have a reason to block anyone. So I was going to go along with what Roxy wanted to get back at you for blocking her. I guess I went along with it. And then they decided to go through and like justify why Roxy went through and justified like literally why they didn't block anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. And I guess in Roxy's perspective, I understand it. Roxy had me feeling all kinds of fucking emotions in this episode. I got to be honest, because there were moments where I was like, damn, Roxy, really? And then I was like, ooh, spicy Roxy. And then I felt a little bad for Roxy by the end, but we'll talk about it. But yeah, I also really appreciated it, to your point, Lana, that Angie was very, very upfront being like, I'm in my feelings right now. Like, I guess I understand why you did it. It's just, we're 4 episodes in and I've now been blocked twice. And there are 5 other girls who haven't been cut off yet.
Right.
Like,
it makes sense.
I think fortunately for Angie, the way things worked out this week, I think it was maybe better that she was cut off just based on the overall circumstances of everything that went down. But we'll talk about that. But then we get Chanel causing drama in the way that I love Chanel to do. Decides to bring up the comments that Gottmik was making about Chanel and Angie being in an alliance.
Mm-hmm.
And Chanel's like, I just really didn't appreciate the way that you were calling us out like that. To be in a clique. A clique. God, I love Chanel. And then she's like, I don't know where this came from. I don't know what's happening because I am not in a clique. You might be in a clique, Lana, but I am not in a clique.
I am definitely not in a clique. No. I am in an alliance. It's a difference.
With me.
It's a difference. I don't do cliques. Because clickings, those cliques are for high school. I don't do cliques.
Because think about it. Orange mug, orange shirt. Hello. There's purple on my shirt, but you can't tell. Purple hair. Yeah, we're in alliance.
This is blue.
Obviously. Oh, is it blue?
It's blue.
StreamYard does a good job at distorting colors sometimes. So, like, this shirt probably looks white, and it's definitely not.
Gray. It looks gray.
Oh, it's pink. Fully pink.
Oh, see, nope. Looks gray.
It's a faded pink, though. I've had the shirt for years. But shout out to Movie Bitches. One of my favorite Drag Race podcasts. We will talk about it. So, but then Chanel's like, so what? Basically, he's like, what's the tea?
Mm-hmm.
And I love that we get this crossfade moment.
Everybody saying, well, I said this, and so I heard this. I was talking about this. But
we found out the origins of
Roxy.
This whole thing was Roxy talking to Vanjie. I was like, come on, Roxy.
It was crazy how it was like everything came back to Roxy. And I was like, so Roxy doing all the talking, and then Vanjie go and ask somebody else about what Roxy just said, and Roxy go talk to somebody else about what she just said, and it splits and splinters amongst the room, but it all comes back to what Roxy started saying. I was like, and Chanel was like, I am just so confused by what is happening. And I realized I can't keep up with these girls and all this talking and what they doing. So you know what? I
just don't care.
And I was like, baby, if I wasn't Chanel wasn't me. Like, I felt seen in that moment because I'm like,
yeah,
that is how I feel every time I play games with these people or in conversations with people, and everybody is just talking around me, and everybody's like, well, and they fighting and fussing, and I'm just like, you know what? I just don't care anymore. I don't care.
Yeah.
Y'all do what y'all want to do, and I don't care. I was like, oh, Chanel.
I mean, you are both women of the same age, I believe, or very, very similar. So
we just get to that point in your life where you just don't care, baby. I love this age. I feel like everybody needs to get to this point in their life. So if you are young and everybody and everything confused, everything is like amplified to 10%, and everything is the weight of the world is on every time everybody says something and you go, oh my God, the world is ending. Oh my God, the drama is too much. It's so much. Man, I pray you all get to this point in your life that you get to the point you're like, you know what? I don't care. Yeah. It's so peaceful here because nobody else's problems bother you. The world, if it has nothing directly to do with you, directly, like hits you, don't care. I pray y'all get to this life. It's beautiful here.
I'm getting there.
No, you got years to go.
Well, no. In the way that like I've stopped caring what people think about me.
No, it's not a mental thing. It's not a mental thing. It's an age thing. This is an age thing. Like seriously, like I get the mentality of I don't care, but it's the difference when you get to the point in your life where you're 40 something and you truly don't care. Because even mentally, we say in our 20s and stuff, we'll say, oh, I really don't care. But it's still something that we always pick up. We always pick it up. It doesn't matter if we at that point, we're like, I don't care what people think, but we do care what happens around us. We do care what people, what's going on. We care. We're like, oh, I want to be a part of this. I want to be in our 20s. We are just, it's just inept for us to care. We just have to care. In 30s, we start to care a little less. But when you get 40, you don't care at all.
I think that's what I was trying to say in that is that I'm getting to a place where I'm starting to care less about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, care less. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're closer to 30 than you are 20.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's you're getting to that point where I'm starting to care less. When you get to that point where you don't care at all,
I can't wait. It sounds wonderful. It sounds like a wonderful time, honestly.
It's a love time. It's a great time. It is a great time for her. I love it. I never thought I'd feel this way, but I'm like, oh, and I'm closer to 50 than I am to 40. So I can't wait to get to the 50 point where it's like, oh, I really don't care, baby. Jesus. Okay, I'm sorry. I just wasted so much time talking about how I
No, you are all good. I love it. No, I'm here for it. But yes, let's move to next day in the workroom. RuPaul comes in. They're doing their things. And then we have a mini challenge with the Teletubbies. Yay!
Now, see, here's the thing with me. I had a question about this. Is the Teletubbies a group that usually comes on Drag Race? Have they been on Drag Race before? Because I didn't grow up in the Teletubby age. Like when Teletubbies were popular, I was grown.
I did.
So,
I did.
Right.
I did.
That was and I know that they are very much, in a ally to the LGBT plus community. So I'm like, okay, that's good. But have they been on RuPaul's Drag Race before, or are they just like?
I don't think they've been on Drag Race before. However, the Teletubbies have had several booths at DragCon over the last couple of years.
Okay.
So I remember last year there was like there's a whole kids section at DragCon, which I love. I think it's gorgeous. I love DragCon. I'm so excited for this year. But there's like a whole kids section, and I think that's where the Teletubbies like do their thing.
Okay.
So I know they were at DragCon LA last year. They were at DragCon UK this year because Jujubee performed with them.
Okay.
On the main stage, which was lovely and cute. So I don't know exactly what the integration is between the Teletubbies and like Drag Race, but this is, at least from my knowledge, the first appearance of the Teletubbies on Drag Race.
Okay. But I do know they're very much advocates.
They're in the Drag Race sphere.
Right.
And
I know they're very much advocates for that for the community and for kids to learn about, because it was the whole big thing. Tinky Winky was a perv. Tinky Winky must be gay. And I was like, maybe.
Let's be honest here. The Teletubbies are drag.
Pretty much.
the Teletubbies are drag. Like, I would consider them drag queens in a lot of ways. Performance, looks, comedy. But I love that we're putting in the Teletubbies. Wait, what? Charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. Absolutely.
Uniqueness and nerve.
Tinky Wakey is coming for season 17, period. Yes, God. No, but I love that we're juxtaposing the Teletubbies with this Soul Train dance situation. I'm
Absolutely.
Like, it's like, this is like the 4th or 5th time RuPaul said, you know what? Soul Train dance off. Like, it happens like every few seasons at this point. I'm like, all right.
I mean, having the Teletubbies there and doing the dance off is like, so, like, that's what kids love to do. You put on some music, kids go jump around, they go dance. You see the Teletubbies on TV, kids are like, oh, Teletubbies with some drag queens. Sure, they're all dancing. It's fun. It's very safe, and it's very... It's what the drag community is about anyway, just making it fun for, it's a fun activity. It's fun things for kids and grown people alike. It's levels of drag. It's very kid-friendly drag, and it's very not kid-friendly drag. So it's just like, that's what, and I think, and I love that. I think that's the message that Ru wanted to show in this episode with this moment. That it's not scary. Drag is not scary. Drag is just people who like to have fun and perform, and a man just happens to be dressed up as a woman. It's okay. It's still fun.
Or a woman is dressed up as a hyper-feminine. Or any gender expression.
Just dressed up into a very drag experience. Because like we said, we got Mick, who is a trans man who does drag. We have women who dress like drag kings. We have it all, and it's all good, and it's all fun, and it's nothing to be concerned about around your children. It's okay. They're not doing anything to your children. Some of them just read a book. Some of them just do Soul Train lines.
Exactly. I love the Queen's reactions to the Teletubbies because you could tell they were all so genuine. They were like, what? The Teletubbies? And then they walked in, and I think it was Plastic specifically was just like, oh my God. Love this.
It's like their inner child came back out. And Angie,
oh my God, no, absolutely.
Angie was freaking out because I'm like, if you watched the Teletubbies when you were a child, and that was something that you were into, when they walk in the room, it's like, oh my goodness. Because like, okay, I'm a very grown adult. But if Alvin and the Chipmunks walked in, I'm like freaking out because that's my childhood. If Mickey and Minnie Mouse comes in, I'm like, oh my God, I'm freaking out. Because yes, they're characters, but they're so beloved. And it's like, I love them. So I love that. I love that the Queens had that moment with the Teletubbies, and that the Teletubbies were able to come out and then do that. It was just a fun moment. I was like, yes. Usually, I don't really like mini challenges. I think they're pointless sometimes. But this one was cute, and this one was fun. So I liked it.
I was like, this is a very inconsequential mini challenge. Whatever. They give the win to Gottmik. I'm like, okay. Give the girl art that already has $20,000 for her charity another $25,000. Hey, I'm not mad at more money going to Trans Lifeline. I'll say that. I'm not mad.
No, I'm not mad at that, but I'm like,
you could distribute the wealth a little bit better,
especially when it's something as inconsequential as a dance off. Like anybody could have won.
And especially when this literally didn't have any stakes on who actually got to pick things for the challenge.
Nothing.
I'm like, okay, that's fine, whatever. But we move on to our maxi challenge this week, which is real estate commercials. Mm-hmm. I really like this challenge.
Me too. I thought it was good. I was like, oh.
It's kind of a blend of, we've gotten commercial challenges in the past, and I do really like them because I like seeing the queens in these kind of like acting, producing spaces. Mm-hmm. But we are doing real estate commercials for some of the worst properties in America.
Mm-hmm.
We've got, what was it? Frosty Bits, Alaska, the Gator Glades,
Florida,
Tumbleweed, Texas, and Salem, not Oregon,
Massachusetts.
And Mama Ru decides to go, hey, Angie, you've been cut off twice. You get to pick the team. And I was like, thank you, Ru.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
I don't know how they would have done it otherwise. Probably Gottmik, because she won the mini challenge. I don't know.
Right.
But, yeah, so Angie gets to pick the teams. And she picks Vanjie for herself, which I don't think is a bad, on paper, I don't think Vanjie is a bad choice for this challenge.
No.
She mostly said she wanted to go with someone that she had a really good relationship and really good rapport with, so that way it would make that challenge easier. I don't know that Vanjie would have been the person that I would have picked.
I would have picked her because I thought she'd be funny. I would have been like, she's funny, naturally funny. So I would pick her so we can use that natural funny ability to make a funny commercial. And Angie is like, I'm funny, we country, both of us country. It makes sense. I would have definitely did that.
I think I would have picked Gottmik, honestly, because I think Mick has a very specific style of comedy, and I kind of fall into that similar, like, my comedy is a bit deadpan. It's a bit like more crass, and for me personally, I feel like the person on this cast that I would do the best at creating comedy with would be Gottmik. So that would be me personally.
I mean, me personally, I would have probably picked like Nina,
right?
But for Angie, I felt her picking Vanjie was the right choice for her.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So we have Angie and Vanjie. And then she picks the other teams being Gottmik and Georges, Plastique and Roxy, and Nina and Chanel. So we're still kind of picking by these alliances a little bit, but
everybody was like, but this is fair. Everybody kind of enjoyed the pairings, and nobody was upset about the pairing.
Angie was very fair with it. Angie was very fair with it. So, we're in the workroom. They're doing their things. Gottmik quickly realizes just how much of I'm not going to say hassle Georges is, but how, like, they are on two different sides of the comedic spectrum. Let's go with that verbiage.
Not focused. That's what I'll say. How unfocused Georges actually is. And with her style, Gottmik style, and Georgia's style, they're both not, they don't have the wherewithal between the two of them to like streamline an idea. They just come up with a lot of ideas. They're like, here's an idea, here's an idea, here's an idea, they don't have anybody to say, okay, let's write this down, let's focus, let's, this is what we'll do. Like, they didn't even go into rehearsal or to the recording of the video of the knowing who's going to say what. They just knew they had a script, and this is what we're going to say, but we don't know who's saying what. We just go off, I guess. So it was kind of interesting to see their dynamic and how it plays off and how the finished product came out. It was interesting to see that in juxtaposition with like Nina and Chanel, who Chanel was very much like, what are we wearing? Let me find the outfits.
Nina's trying to make the script while
let's write the script. We're gonna write the script. I'm saying it. And like, she was the streamliner. She was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do, this is how we're gonna do it, And Chanel was like, well, you do that. And I'm gonna focus on what we gonna wear. And this looks good. And this looks like Chanel quickly went and got her tote and was like, let's pull out outfits. And Nina was like, let's make a script. And she was like, well, we'll get to that. It was interesting. Each team had their own dynamic. And then we saw that Roxy and Plastique were doing the same, because we saw Plastic and Roxy and Angie and Vanjie both wanted at first to go for the Everglades. But then Roxy was like, I really don't care. We can do whatever we want. And so Angie was like, So eventually, so we can get the Everglades in, since y'all don't care, because we care.
And all Plastique had said was she just wanted to do a country
A
accent.
country accent, which Texas is very country too, so you still got to do
technically, Plastique has lived in Texas before.
Yes, absolutely. So
it's not where she's from originally, but she's gonna make
it work. I'm not from Bama originally, but I can make it work if I need to.
Right, exactly.
So she made it work where she needed to. And so, and Vince was like, I live in Florida, so I would rather take the Everglades. So it is what it is.
Living in Florida causes a lot of controversy, apparently. Mm-hmm. Because apparently there's no Southern accents in Florida.
None whatsoever.
None. I want to say before we talk about, I was like, Roxanne.
Roxy? What?
Roxanne Andrews. What are you talking about, girl?
You think there's no Southern accents in Florida? What?
Maybe not the part of Orlando you live in, girl, but...
because where you live is full of people who migrated down to retire.
Who are not probably originally from Orlando like you are.
Right. But Miss Roxy Andrews, you have an accent yourself.
Literally. Anyway, my favorite part of this episode, jumping back to Gottmik and Georges for a second, when they're like so confused and like Georges is writing down some stuff. And then they're both such stoner-brained individuals. And I felt this in my heart and soul. Georges was like, oh my God, this is such a nice pen, girl. And Nick was like, right? I was like, oh my God, this is such a nice pen. I was looking at the pen. I was like, that is a nice pen.
It writes so smoothly.
I know. I love it.
I love a good smooth pen. Mm-hmm.
Yes. But we go to the commercial taping with Carson. I was happy that there was no Michelle.
Yes.
Because I don't think Michelle is the best director for these kinds of things. So I think bringing in Carson, who has TV and commercial experience, I think was the right choice. And then we also have Tracy Tudor from $1 Million Listing LA. Mm-hmm. Had no clue who she was. Mm-hmm. But I thought she brought, a nice energy to the room.
Yeah. She was very knowledgeable of what she was talking about with the real estate aspect of it. And I think she was a little like, I won't say starstruck, but maybe shell-shocked on realizing what was actually happening. And,
I don't know that they fully briefed her about that it was a comedic challenge.
Right. But she made it work. She figured it out.
My other favorite part of the episode is when she just turns to Carson and she goes, what's flip fucking?
I was like,
girl. Oh, Tracy, girl.
I was going to say, girl, I'm you. That would have been me. I'd be like, what the heck is that?
Have you been clarified on that, Lana?
I do. I definitely know what it is now.
Okay, great.
I pay attention.
Because you're what?
An ally.
Period.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I try to learn these things.
It is Pride Month after all, so we've got to teach you as much as we can.
Some stuff I don't want to know. I'm gonna be honest.
There's some things you are better off not knowing.
Some things I don't want to know, but
yeah, I think the limit that we've gotten you to is poppers. I'm like that. Yeah. Anything beyond that, I'm like, I don't think Lana needs to know. I don't think Lana needs to know. But I didn't have a whole lot from the rehearsals itself, other than Georgia's kind of messing up a little bit, Chanel kind of messing up a little bit. Mm-hmm. But it was really, honestly, mostly Gottmik and Georges were the ones that were really the only ones that were struggling majorly.
Yeah. When I left after the rehearsal, for me, I was like, I think I know who is going to be the tops, and I know who definitely going to be bottom. I said clear bottom for me. Just from the rehearsals, not after watching the whole thing. It was just from the rehearsals. I was like, that's a clear bottom for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I agree with you. But we go back into the workroom the next day, getting ready for the runway. And this is where drama pops up.
Yeah.
Because Miss Roxanne Andrews is back at it again, being like, well, there really are no Southern accents in Florida. And Vanjie being the nosy bitch. All she needs to say was Florida. Literally.
What you say about Florida?
It was very, what are you talking about, Willis? Like, that's the energy I was getting from Vanjie in that moment. She was like, Florida? And so they have that whole thing. What you said about Florida?
She's like, I'm just saying ain't no Southern accent. She was like, I lived in Florida. I know what's that Southern accent.
I'm from insert small town here, Florida. I don't remember what town it was.
I don't remember she was. Right.
It was a very Florida sounding town.
Maybe Florida, I guess. I don't know.
It was like Gulf something, I think. I don't know. And then the part that kind of annoyed me a little bit was they're fighting. Vanjie's like, I'm gonna feel the way I feel, because like whatever. Roxy comes over and is like, girl, you know I'm joking with you. You should know better.
Right. Yeah. I was like, what do you mean you should know better?
And then clarifies later, she was like, you should know me better than that. And I was like, okay, that's a little bit better. I was like, girl, Roxy, what the fuck? Like,
yeah, like you should know better. Maybe what? You should know me better. What if you should know me better? If I was Vanjie, I'm like, you should know me better. You know that when I feel like I'm being attacked or come for, I'm gonna come back. And you talk about instead of you worried about that's the Vanjie's like instead of them worrying about their own thing and they commercial, they all up in arms talking about Florida. They should be worried about Texas, not Florida. And I was like, ooh,
right.
I get it. I felt me in that moment. I was very much team Vanjie. And I was like, why are you worried about what they doing over there? Even though they were very concerned about that they had the same look, like they were doing the same thing, but y'all were doing the same things because of the region of the country that you were in. Very much southern states. It's easy to do the southern hillbilly thing. And here's the thing. Roxy was talking about it's not no southern accents in Florida and where she is in Orlando or whatever, like I said, because Orlando is very much a touristy place, very much people migrate there to work at Disney, people migrate there to retire. Like it's very much a touristy migration place. The Everglades, though. The Everglades, though, as touristy as it might be for people to come to see the Everglades, the people who live in the Everglades,
country is biscuit.
Very much so. Very much like they said, population 35, and we all related. Like
literally. But
so, yeah.
I was like, I don't know what this. And then I love George's being like, what is this competition doing to us? Like, that's the funniest damn thing George has said all episode.
It was funny.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I think, Lana, it might be time for us to go to the runway.
I think so. You know what I was thinking? We might need a new sound clip for All Stars because they don't do this; they do it different.
Oh yeah, because it's the it's a different one. Yeah.
I was like, we might need a new.
We might need the All Stars version, David, because I know you're listening, David.
All Stars clip. Thank
you. Or we could just play the Dracula one.
Attention competitors. Attention competitors.
You just want to play that one. Just like that. So much.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did. I really did.
Oh, yeah.
With our guest judge, Alec Mappa, making, I think, his third appearance on Drag Race, something like that.
Okay.
Love Alec Mappa. Love him. Love him. I think he's still the host of the official RuPaul's Drag Race podcast.
I think so, because I remember
him and Lonnie Love.
Yes.
Love the two of them, too.
Yes.
You know, I have to say, I think this is my favorite RuPaul gown of the season so far.
Gown, yes. Yes. I was like, much better than the last two.
Yeah. Do you not like the hair?
I do like the hair.
I love the hair.
I like the hair. I think the hair is good. I think her mug is good in this. I really do.
Yeah.
I think this is a good look for Ru. I like this. It's not, I mean, it's definitely better than the last two because I didn't like the last two.
It's giving very, like, a take on Farrah Fawcett hair, which I'm really liking for Ru because it's not this, like, structured, hard set in place wig. Like, there was a little bit of, like, a bounce in the bang, and I was really happy with it.
Yeah. We'll talk more about this later, but yeah, kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michelle giving us foreshadowing on someone's runway look, perhaps, potentially, maybe.
I hate the shoes on Michelle. I just want to say that.
I do too.
Hate it. Hate the shoes.
And then Alec and Carson got the same exact memo. So
and they look great. They look great.
They look great. Yep. So let's talk about our challenge first.
Yes.
And we're gonna start with Nina and Chanel with Pretty Dead Realty in Salem, Massachusetts. I gotta be honest, I think they did a great job.
I think they did a stunning job. It was very good. It was like precise. It was very much like a real estate commercial. I would trust if it wasn't for the Salem, if I was into witches and castles and haunted houses, I would want that house because they did a very solid job of selling it. It was funny. It was, on brand, and it was very informative. I enjoyed their commercial. I was like, as far as solid points and making the commercial a good commercial, I was very happy with this commercial. I thought they did a great job, and they looked the part. Like I liked the difference between Chanel and her sequin gown dress,
her business suit,
moment, and then Nina looking like the hunted mistress from the manor, with the the mother of the manor, like she's Nina's mother, and Nina is now the woman of the house, but her mom lives at the house too, so she feels like very entitled to owning the house too. It's very much, I like it. I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, I thought they were very, very deserving of the other top spot this week. I gotta be honest. I think overall this was I go back and forth between this one and the duo that did win. I will say that I think if it was judged as individuals, I do think there is the potential that Nina could have been in the top two this week. But I want to say as well, I think Chanel did a phenomenal job at playing the quote unquote straight man character because that's not an easy role to play. And I think Chanel does that in a very, very successful way. She's able to set up punchlines. She still had a lot of funny moments herself. I think my favorite part of the commercial is when she's like, for the low, low price of your soul. Like, that was really funny. And then Nina coming in with, what a deal. Like, it was so good. I thought they both did really, really well. I could have seen a universe where Nina got a badge this week. I could have seen a universe where Chanel got a badge as well.
Yeah, I honestly felt like they should have judged it individually instead of as a duo because it would have been a different outcome. I think it could have been a different outcome. But yeah, overall, I was very, very happy with this commercial. Even Tracy during the filming was like, your real estate knowledge is very impressive. And I think they were the ones that found the best blend between comedy and real estate. Absolutely.
I will say that. So but yeah, I really, really enjoyed what Nina and Chanel did.
Me too.
And I also really, really enjoyed what Plastique and Roxy did with the We Texas ad. Plastique Tiara really broke out of her shell in a way that I was never expecting to see. I was thrilled to see it. I thought she did a great job.
She did really, really good, and I was very excited for her. Because I know everybody was kind of like, "Oh, she doesn't do comedy that well. This
She
isn't
is
her
not.
forte."
Every challenge she has struggled with on Drag Race throughout both of her seasons has been comedy based. So it's like, and she went home on an improv challenge on her season. So to see her doing well here is really, really nice.
She really just let go, and it was really nice to see. And for me, and this is no shade to Plastique and Roxy. To me, I felt like they earned this win because of how far Plastique has come. And I felt like everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you did this. Like, this is something we never expected from you, going against people who you expect to be funny. They expect Nina to be funny. They expect Chanel to be funny. So it was like, we knew y'all were gonna be good, but oh my God, we didn't know you were gonna be good.
Oh my God, Plastique. And even Roxy, to be fair, as well, because Roxy is not, billed as a comedy queen. That's not her. They're the dolls, without really being the dolls, but we'll sure, whatever. Whatever. But no, I thought this was very, very well done. I thought they both leaned into characters that they knew how to work very easily. The whole sequence of do you have no credit? Who cares? It was so good. For me, though, I maybe would have split. I don't know that I would have judged it as teams personally, because I think I might have given it to Plastique and Nina this week.
What I would have done. That is exactly what I would have done.
I wouldn't have wanted to see either of them lip sync to this lip sync song this week, so I'm glad that we got Roxy. Let me say that much. But yeah, I thought they both did an exceptional job. Here is your humble abode. Well, there it is. It's just they're out of almost nowhere. Their comedic timing just worked here. It just worked. I was thrilled for both of them.
Yep, me too.
So, and then we moved to George's Frosty Bits, George and Mick.
It wasn't horrible. It just wasn't as funny as the other three. Like, it literally just lacked a little something than the other three. They weren't bad. Yeah. It wasn't like the whole thing
not at all
was bad. It just was. For me, Georgia stood out to me than Mick. Like, I felt like Georgia's was the better one in this situation.
Oh, okay.
But I just to me, I felt like Georgia's just, even though she kind of got lost a little bit, I thought she was funny. And my favorite parts of it, she was like, "It's bits, girl." Like,
bits. I think in that way, in a similar way to Nina and Chanel, I think Mick does a very, very good job at playing the quote unquote straight man character. And I think Mick did that very, very well here. My favorite part of this entire sketch was when they were like, "An outhouse with a view. Wow. Unpredictable stairs." Whoa! That killed me. I sat there laughing for like an entire minute. I had to rewind and finish watching the rest of their commercial. Like, unpredictable stairs. I don't know. Unpredictable stairs just killed me.
You're like, I don't know what's going to happen on these stairs. It's so
and I love that they were. The reason I pulled this photo specifically when Georges is on the sled is because I just love this moment too. We're like, "Come on, girl, I got dicks to suck." Like, it's so good. I think they leaned into what they knew. I think I agree with you. It was the fourth most successful commercial, which still means they were technically the worst, but I don't even really think they were all that bad.
They weren't bad. It just wasn't as funny. Like
You're going up against girls that are very, very funny.
Very, very funny. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it wasn't bad at all. Like they shouldn't feel bad about this performance at all.
I guess we could talk about this here too now, because Georges breaks down a little bit during critique.
Mm-hmm.
I felt bad for Georges here. And I think this, and I mean this with the most respect to Georges, because I think Georges is a talented entertainer. I think this might have been the moment that Georges realized maybe she was a little bit in over her head coming back for All Stars this soon. Because that's kind of the energy it gave me, is like, because on season 14, she was in the bottom a lot for challenges, but it was kind of constant praise from RuPaul. And on this season, there's a lot of girls around her getting a lot of constant praise from RuPaul. And so I think it's a very different situation for Georges to be in. And I do love that Ru took the moment to be like, you are funny. Like, these are the kinds of things that you could be funny at. And if you see in the trailer for next week, Lana, she takes RuPaul's advice. We'll talk about it, because I want to talk about the trailer too. But I'm excited to see what that means for Georges next week. But yeah, I didn't think it was bad by any means. And I felt bad for Georges breaking down a little bit and having a moment of like, I just don't know what else to do.
Right.
But yeah. And then we move to the Gator Glades, Angie and Vanjie, Swamp Pussy Realty. I thought this was good. I have to say, I think the one thing that brought down the commercial overall was the fact that you could not understand a goddamn word out of Angie's mouth.
Yeah, I would have rather
I had subtitles on, and I still couldn't understand what she was saying.
I would have rather Vanjie just did her normal voice. It would have been just funnier if her normal voice. But
I agree.
She put on this, and it was.
She put on this accent where you can understand her.
But I understood her because I know people. Well, I've been around some people who sound like that. You just have to listen and you understand, because a lot of people they talk like that. They talk real fast. You don't understand what they're saying. You got to keep on listening. You just gotta listen.
I got a family like that, so I understand that for sure.
Very deep South, that very deep South accent is something you just have to really listen to. And for me, it's not even a deep South accent, but like a lot of older Black men who like very much like great grandfathers, and who didn't have the education, like because they couldn't go to schools and they were too busy, working and things. So they didn't have the education that a lot of us have. Well, we were taught these, vocabulary and things like that. So they just come talking about when they know, and they talk how they talk, and they talk when they were real crisp, because they've been out in the world for a long time. So,
right.
So that's how a lot of older, generations were talking, and they talk, and when they get older, that's how they talk. So we were adapt to listen, so we can hear what that grumble meant, what that grumble that they say with them, and they came back then like, oh yeah, you just came back and did it. That's what he said. He just came back and did it. So I get it, but for TV purposes and for the skit purpose, I would have rather her just do her normal accent without the gruff. But I still thought they were so dang funny. I laughed so much with them, and I laugh with them like I laugh with Texas, like I laugh with Salem. I just laughed, and they were funny, and it was so, their chemistry is so good together because they just feed off of each other. I thought it was
keeping it in the family.
Keep it in the family.
I thought there was a universe where Angie could have been in the top 2 as well. I got to be honest. If it wasn't judged as teams, I think, I do think Angie did a really shocker. Angie doing a good job on this season.
Right. Absolutely.
I was thrilled for Angie. I thought she did a really, really good job. I laughed here. I thought it was, it was good overall. I just thought there could have been a bit more levels to Vanjie's characterization that I did get in Angie's, which is why I'm a little critical of it, because I got a little bit more out of the character that Angie was presenting than I did Vanjie's.
Mm-hmm.
But the subtitles for this video, if y'all have subtitles on, I'm so sorry, because I know it's probably like Angie Vanjie. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But let's move very, very quickly to our brief discussion on the runway. Obviously, we do our we do our full review of the runway looks over on.
Look over here.
I've noticed I've been clicking it early.
Mm-hmm.
It blends into what I'm saying during the episode. So I'm taking a major pause to then say, go check out
over here
when it drops, because we're going to talk about these looks in depth. But we have our category is day to night reveal. We're going to do our word/phrase association today. Looks. So first up, Nina West.
Powerful message.
Great message. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's it.
I'll save the rest. I'll save the rest. Chanel.
Classy.
I was gonna go along those lines. Classic and gorgeous. Signature Chanel.
Okay.
Very signature Chanel. I love this. Plastic Tiara.
Girl.
She really did spend $250,000 on this runway package, didn't she? That's my phrase. I'm asking a question for Plastique. Girl. That's what I think about this. Roxy Andrews.
Literal.
I was going to say, a great literal interpretation. I'm it. Got Meek.
Cheeks, baby.
You ain't gonna be seeing them on YouTube today.
Nope.
Genius. But I'm not surprised. Gorgeous like Georges.
Whimsical.
Underwhelming. Sorry, George. Angeria.
Stunning.
Black excellence. I mean, come on now. And last up, Vanessa Vanjie.
Pretty woman. Walking down the street. Okay.
Copyright. Big mistake. Huge. Follow that up with the best damn thing Vanjie's worn this season.
Gorgeous.
Oh, gorge. But that was the last one. I do have more slides though. But I'll save that for later. So, we do Untucked. Not much happens in this Untucked. Alec Mapa comes back. It's a cute time. There is a big old debate in these girls in the back on who's actually going to win the challenge. And I think they came to the consensus. They didn't necessarily. I don't think Plastique and Roxy expected to win. I think they were expecting it to probably be Nina and Chanel.
Right.
But yeah, Untucked was, The Untucks are whatever at this point. Like, the guest judge comes back. It's a cute time. The only one that I thought was really like anything substantial was actually last week's when they had all the firefighters and they had Brothers Osborne. It was a nice conversation, but otherwise, Untucked just isn't giving the untuckedness that it typically does. But regardless, we come back to the main stage and we find out that our top 2 all-stars of the week, Lana, are Roxy and Plastique.
Mm-hmm.
And, to that, I am gonna go ahead and say...
Deserve.
I just rewatched that episode because I never knew exactly who that quote was from. Because I knew it was from DragRace Philippines. I just couldn't remember whose it was. And I just rewatched that episode and remembered that it was indeed my fave. But Roxy and Plastique are the top 2. Lana, do you agree?
I see a world where they could be the top 2. I'm not mad at them being the top 2 because they did great. Nina and Chanel did great. And if we're going to judge it in teams, then okay. Roxy and Plastique did a great job.
Based on Challenge and Runway, I would say probably.
Yes, I think Roxy and Plastique kind of did that. So I'm not mad at it.
I'm not mad either. The girlies online that are saying Plastique should have 4 wins by now. I'm like, I don't
know about that.
I would say 3. Because hell, I gave her the win last week. So, I think if it was judged individually, though, I think I would personally say, Plastique and Nina. Honestly, I think Nina did a really, really good job this week. So either Plastique and Nina or Plastique and Angie, I think could have been either. I think either combination could have been good. The reason I kept the slides up is because I just want to talk for a quick moment about what the hell was happening with some of these lip sync changed looks. What the fuck is Nina West wearing?
I don't know.
Why the fuck? I was like, I don't know what the hell she's gonna wear now after the damn lip sync dress, but I'm like, girl.
Apparently, she's Christmas.
Now, why the hell are you gonna be an elf to this song? But I do also love the Angie check chaps that Angie's wearing. It's very, very good. Chanel's whole ensemble too, I love. She posted on Instagram, it's a very Bratz inspired look. And I'm like, I am obsessed with that look and obsessed with Chanel. But our top 2, Roxy and Plastique, lip syncing to Super Freaky Girl by Nicki Minaj. Fun.
Interesting.
Very. I don't know if you saw the tea either, Lana. Megami tweeted after this episode came out saying apparently this was on the iPod for season 16 as a lip sync song. But apparently all of the girls complained to production that it was too hard of a song to learn because of how much they would have had to bleep it for MTV. Which is why they ended up using it for this season, because they didn't have to bleep it.
That's
because it's on streaming, so they can. Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's actually smart because MTV would have to bleep a lot. I mean,
yeah, it would like half the song would be bleeped.
Yeah,
but this lip sync is interesting because neither of them knew all the words.
I mean, neither knew all the words. It was interesting to see how they both took the song and how they interpreted the song, their dynamics of the song.
I have a
Roxy is
theory.
very much old school because Roxy was like, come
on, hammer time.
Can't touch this. Can't touch this. No. Like I was like, okay,
Copyright.
very much. But Plastique was very much on the new Nicki Minaj super bass freaky,
Right.
whatever. She was like, doing the Nicki. And I was like, there's such interesting takes from both, but it was neither one of them knew the words. We realized that.
Roxy knew more of the words than Plastique did.
Plastique decided to give us hairography because she didn't know the words. So it was like,
and then the hair got stuck in the ography, and
no, like, okay.
I have a theory.
What's your theory?
I have a theory that Roxy was trying to throw this lip sync.
Oh,
because she didn't want to she didn't want the power of cutting anyone off.
Oh.
Because we have seen that happen on previous All-Star seasons, where if the girl doesn't want to be responsible for sending someone home, we have seen several lip syncs in the past where girls have thrown the lip sync.
Mm-hmm.
And I truly, in my heart of hearts, believe that Roxy was trying to throw this lip sync to Plastique. Unfortunately for Roxy, Plastique knew less of the words. And so because of that, Roxy wins the lip sync. And this is where, oh God.
Jesus Christ.
So immediately Roxy's just like, because she has no reason to block anyone now. So Roxy actually has to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
And so she decides, she's like, Ru, I'm not going to look at anyone. I'm going to turn around with the giant scissors just in the air. And she says, just let me know where Nina is.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's a cute way to like soften the blow, cut off Nina, which isn't a bad option.
No.
I don't think blocking Nina is a bad idea here.
But I'm like, if you go do that, even though Nina gave you a badge.
A badge.
Then, okay. But just do it, girl.
Yeah. But she doesn't. And instead, she's like, whoever I land on is just going to get this cut off. So she goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And she lands on someone and says, snip, snip, and it's fucking Angeria. And I was like, no! Oh, they cannot do this to my girl. 3 out of 5 episodes on this season. No, girl.
That moment got me pissed off instantly. I was like, are you freaking kidding me?
And Angie's face was just like, again. And then Roxy turns around, realizes it's Angeria, and was like, no, I can't cut off Angeria. And I was like, all right, thank you, Roxy. Thank you very much, Roxy.
You better not. I ain't thinking. I was like,
you better not cut off Roxy.
You better not.
Roxy. Better not do it. So she's having this whole internal, like, she is going through it on this stage. Meanwhile, RuPaul's just cracking jokes.
I have a theory, though. But after you finish your thought. Wow.
So Roxy's like, whoever I pick is going to be mad. And I did love that Ru was like, well, I think they would be less mad than Angeria. So I was like, ooh, RuPaul. RuPaul, you're supposed to be the impartial judge of this show. What? And so ultimately, Roxy decides, after much turmoil and crying and trying to cut off her own head with the scissors, she decides that she's going to cut off Gottmik.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Fair.
We were all kind of waiting for the moment for Gottmik to get blocked.
Absolutely.
Or cut off. Given the challenge next week, I think Roxy got it right. again. I do. Because she, because I think blocking Gottmik here is the right idea. But she goes through so much turmoil in this moment. Gottmik has to be an emotional support queen twice in this one episode. But I want to know, Lana, what is your theory?
My theory is I wasn't buying that foolishness for a second with Roxy and this. I'm so torn. I think she knew exactly what she was doing. I think she knew exactly where she was going. I think she landed on Nigeria and then was like, oh no, I can't land it. I can't do Angie. Because you wanted to do Gottmik from the get-go. You should have just went up and Gottmik and gave it to her. But she did that whole thing for, number one, camera time. Because all that drama right on that stage.
Hey, I ain't mad at a girl trying to get more camera time.
They go show that. Number two, she wanted the episode to be about. She wanted that to come down to be about her in that moment. She wanted to take her moment, have that moment, have it. Well, but in the end, I feel like it's going to backfire on her because that's not only just gonna piss off Angie because now you playing in my face because you knew where you were. You knew where you were and you landed on me, and then you go piss off Gottmik because now you coming for me when you just should have just said that from the get-go. And then you made me be your support queen for you while you on stage crying like save the dramatics. Stop doing that. We are all here. We all knew what it was about. We all knew what this was. We knew what you had to do. You knew what you had to do. And you should have just did it. But it just felt very theatrics for no reason at all. Like I felt like she was playing in their face, and I feel like they felt that she was playing in their face, and it was kind of like, girl, ain't nobody buying that. Ain't nobody buying that, Miss Roxanne. We not buying that. And
Roxanne Andrews.
Like I literally would be the one like, you can't convince me you didn't know where everybody was. You sat on that same stage as we did for a long time because we know this process is not as short as it looks on TV. We know that process is hours. And you stood on this stage with us and you knew exactly where we were placed. You were doing the rehearsal and they blocked us all and you knew where everybody was. And now you talking about them. I'm not going to look. I'm just going to go down the line. And I don't know. You, girl, no, I'm not buying it. I am not buying it. I don't think she's not that great of an actress. Not.
No.
Nope.
And I don't think Gottmik is buying it either, because by the looks of the trailer for next week, he's like, girl, I'm excited to see that drama. More drama, Lana. I'm very excited. But then we find out that next week is the roast, which Gottmik very, very much so could have won her roast on season 13.
Oh, okay.
She has one of my favorite roast jokes of all time. Because that one was the roast of Ross Matthews.
Okay.
And she has a line where she goes, Ross Matthews is the only person I know who watches porn and comes when the pizza's delivered. One of the best lines of all time. So I think Roxy made the absolute right choice by blocking Ms. Gottmik for next week. But yeah, I'm excited to see, because in the preview, we see Georges during the performance, like fully just like out of drag. Like playing a butch character.
Yes.
So I am intrigued to see whether this is going to work out for Georges. I'm excited to see the roast. I couldn't tell who the guest judge was.
No, I didn't know. I couldn't
Fabulous older woman. I feel like once they say who she is, I'm gonna be like, oh duh, of course.
Right.
I was like, I don't know, but she seems fabulous. So, excited for next week.
Me too.
This season is giving me what I need, and I'm very happy. started a little bit of a slow burn, but I
Mhm.
think we're finally getting into the meat and potatoes of the season.
Absolutely.
I'm really enjoying these girls. On a whole, I'm enjoying all 8 of them.
Mhm.
And I think it's a great season. So we now have Roxy as the front runner with 3 badges.
Mhm.
So if Roxy isn't cut off next week, girl,
I don't know what y'all doing. I don't know what y'all doing.
that we might actually have an instance this season where we might have at least one person who doesn't get cut off ever.
Yeah.
Because that didn't happen on All Star 7 because everyone got cut off at least once. But who knows what'll happen with this season. So
Who knows?
with that being said, thank you for joining us for this recap of episode 5 of RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars 9. We will be back shortly after this episode drops, and by shortly I mean a day later, to dive into the looks for this episode over on.
Look over here.
So make sure to check that episode out as well. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share on your way out because we've got a lot of drag content coming down the pipeline for you. We're currently covering Drag Race France. We got Mexico on the way. We've got a lot of other fun things coming up for you all as well. Make sure to check out the description below for all 3 of our other YouTube channels, as well as our audio podcast links and our membership channel links. And while you're down in the description, you could also follow us on our social media at The Cut Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can go follow me and Lana as well. And you could go get your merch, including but not limited to Cut Mug, down there as well. With all that being said, we're going to get out of here. So cheers.
Cheers.
Woo. I can lick it. I can ride. I was like, ooh, come on now.
Mm-hmm.
Bye.
All right.